refreshing. Dortmunder from Great Lakes Brewing Company, Cleveland, Ohio. Color, nice, kind of a coppery brown. And it's got sweet malt, dry hops, and has been an award winner for a number of years. It's 6% alcohol by volume. It'll get you there in a reasonable amount of time. 30 IBUs, which explains why it was kind of more difficult to chug these down. I find it goes down easy when I'm at the casino not eating. At home, food pairings, chicken, pork, Cuban food, Latin food, etc. They even have on the website, they have a recipe for cooking with Dortmunder and having making your own deviled eggs, barbecued deviled eggs, or your own Thousand Island dressing, which is worth inspecting. And there you're actually using the Dortmunder lager to cook with. Dortmunder is a location, Dortmunder, Germany. And Dortmunder, Germany was known for lager in the same style. They've since stopped producing as much of this, and now the ones who are producing classic Dortmunder lager are all in the United States, and Great Lakes Dortmunder Gold is heading that off. Has become world-renowned, winning lots of awards, and really taking this classic style of lager to a new level. So it's definitely worth trying out. Great Lakes Brewing Company's Dortmunder Gold. It was originally named the Heisman, named after John Heisman, who the American football trophy was named after, John Heisman. But they changed it to Dortmunder, which makes sense because it's a representation of that classic German Dortmunder, almost Bavarian style. So, yeah, definitely worth trying this classic out when you get a chance. All right, now I'd like to introduce a new Winsome Winesom feature, the Wheel of Ego. This is a wheel which is made up of it's a pie chart really, on a nail, but we'll call it a pinwheel, and it's a wheel of ego. And these are all parts of my personality broken into 10 components because they're all different parts. And we all have complexities as individuals. You know, we're not just one myopic view or personality. And so here it features parts of my personality identity: sommelier, rapper, clown, writer, comedian, creator, magician, juggler, doctor of divinity, and musician. So these are all disparate yet united in my personality. So what I figured would be a fun device to use for Winsome Winesom, we spin the wheel, see what we get each episode. So this is the first episode that I'm going to use it on. And yeah, let's see what we get today for our primary, for the first time we're doing this. The Wheel of Ego, you know? And then there's going to be like a theme song that's like, it's time to spin the wheel of ego, see which way the moment goes, around and around, adventure abounds, a plethora of identities. We hide talents and skills, and laughter is a remedy. Take pain and bring in the serenity, or something like that, you know, that's, you know. But it is time to spin the wheel of ego, so here we go. Oh dear. Radical. Well, it stopped on Sommelier this time. So, and we're going by this post right here. So that's Sommelier. And the reason I stopped it instead of letting it go all the way through, because it's kind of weighted and it always ends up right, you know, ends up in the same spot. So I'm keeping it more fair. So Sommelier fact of the day. Let's see. Sommelier fact of the day. I'm just going to pull stuff out from my recent studies. Popcorn Sutton Marvin Popcorn Sutton was a moonshiner out of Tennessee, and but he was born in North Carolina, and he is represented in lots of the moonshine documentaries as pulling out. He was sort of a master of moonshine, which you go, master of moonshine, it's not a recognized, respectable trade in the world, but he was recognized for perfecting the moonshine industry. And he would take his tills, he would set up the still out in the backwoods of Tennessee, and he would take all of his ingredients, get the yeast and corn and all this water, fresh water running through the area, and then he would produce some of the highest quality moonshine around. He got his name, Popcorn Sutton is what he's known by. He got his name because one night he was drunk in a bar and he beat up a popcorn machine. So, Popcorn Sutton, it's well worth looking up the documentary about Popcorn Sutton as well, because he's a fun Appalachian legend. So he produced a lot of moonshine. Eventually, he was brought up on charges and ended up killing himself just to get out of going to prison at the age of 62, I think it was. So, there you go. What's moonshine made of? I already mentioned basic ingredients. Moonshine is very coarse. It was sort of came up out of the culture that was post-Prohibition. And since Prohibition ended in 1933, you started having more production of alcohol, and in this case, hard grain spirits, where they would just take water, yeast, corn, and make anything that could get you drunk. Popcorn Sutton is quoted as saying, Jesus turned water into wine, I turned it into liquor. And he spells liquor, L-I-K-K-E-R. But he's definitely worth researching because he's a real character, very entertaining. And if you haven't had moonshine before, my one experience with moonshine, my family took me out into the backwoods of North Carolina, and I was able to procure a mason jar of moonshine. And this was peach moonshine that a guy in the middle of nowhere, Archie T, he was able to produce this moonshine. And he had the bib overalls just like Popcorn Sutton, and he produced a jug, poured a sample into a mason jar, gave it to me for free, and I had 2 shots, I think. Like two shots, right? First shot, I went, wow, this is pretty good. Second shot, I was like, wow, I could get wasted, and I'm a guy who drinks a lot. And then I remembered, oh yeah, this is why people go blind. It's not regulated. He's just making alcohol, and not much different than powering your car. So I took it back home to Los Angeles, where I was living at the time, and everybody backed out. They didn't want to try any. So check out Popcorn Sutton, History of Moonshining, and thanks. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Winsome Wine Somm, that's W-I-N-S-O-M-E, W-I-N-S-O-M-M. You can email me at winsomewinesomm@gmail.com. Hit me up on Instagram as well as Facebook. And I have a newsletter, Thirsty Thursdays, that comes out every Thursday direct to your email box. That's Winsome Wine Somm, W-I-N-S-O-M-E, WINESOMM@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, and we'll keep on drinking. Life is your oyster, so shuck it. Thanks.